Peace, light, and love, YouTube. I want to hop on here and do a quick message on something that so many of us are way too familiar with, and that is others will not support you in return. They will not support you in the way that you support them, in the way that you may have supported them for years, right? You'll find that when their talents, you celebrate their talents, you celebrate their good times, you lift them up, you're there for them. And you'll find that when you are embarking upon things that are really important for you, when you are stepping outside of your comfort zone and taking on that new project and putting yourself out there, that surprisingly, they're nowhere to be found. And then when you tell them about these things, they will be completely quiet. They will not have this rejoiceful reaction like you have had for them time after time after time again. And that's something that, for me personally, as part of the collective, a lot of times I relate things back to myself to, just kind of feel, what you as a collective may be feeling and going through as well. And I know for sure in my experience that, starting off, from a very young age, those who were supposed to support me, were abusive. The friends that, I've had, maybe they, whatever their talents have been, I am like the number one fan, and I'm so supportive and I really want to see them do well. So I know that for a lot of us in the collective, for yourself as well with 144 on the clock, you have had family members and friends who have deserted you when it was time to support you, and that's just something that it can be really difficult, even though we've gone through this so many times, right? Like, we've been through this. We know that this will happen. We know that people will not support us the way that, we have supported them. This is not a new message for us. However, it can still hit. It can still hit in quite a way where it's like, dang, I knew this was the case, but for real, really though, like, you may tell them, hey, I got this new project coming up. I'm gonna do this project, and they may literally be completely quiet, like crickets, and you're like, whoa, like, really? That's your reaction? You have literally nothing to say. But when it's their turn, when in the past when it's been them, you've gone on for hours and hours, asking them, well, how are you going to do it? And, what are your plans? And, I'm so excited for you. And maybe you want to go about it, trying it this way, or, make sure you let me know so I can support you. If it's some place that I can be the go-to to be there with you, let me know. Things like that, you know what I'm saying? I've always celebrated other people's wins. But in this path, as a chosen one, as an anointed one, we are not going to have people support us. It is a journey of really being alone. Now, strangers support us. That's one thing that we have learned in the times that we have put ourselves out there, that there are people, evil family members. Come on, confirmation. Do you see this confirmation right here in my family? Do you see that? Evil family members. Confirmation. People are not going to support us who you would think would be the ones to support us. Your mother, your father, your brother, your sister, your best friend, your mentor, things like this. They will go ghost on us. They will go ghost. You may have always been there for these people. But when it's our turn, when we are taking that risk, when we are trying to overcome traumas and we're trying to heal our inner child and we're trying to do what we feel like is our destiny to do as chosen ones, what God has told us to do. God has said, this is your purpose, and this is why you have these traumas surrounding this purpose, because you have to overcome them in order to manifest who you have come to this planet to be. And these are things that we will know. And you may have shared this with, Maybe say your best friend. Let's say your best friend has a talent. Maybe your best friend is a super athlete. And you've been to so many games, so many practices. You may have taken lunch and snacks to their practices and picked them up and taken them to practice, and you got the team jerseys, and you would wear their team colors at their events, and you would buy or you can do so much for them, this athlete best friend of yours. And let's say, okay, now you say, okay, well, boom, I think I'm going to start working out. So I'm going to tell my athlete best friend, because that's the perfect person to tell, right? They're this, this big shot athlete. And I know that, they're going to support me because, man, you can't count how many times I've been there for them. So you tell your best friend athlete that you're going to start working out and doing these things, and then your best friend athlete got nothing to say. You ask her, you say, okay, well, my best friend athlete, we're going to go jogging together. We're going to lift some weights, or, we're going to talk workout routines. We're going to talk diets and stuff. You might want to talk to your athlete best friend about it. And your athlete best friend is like crickets. Not a word to say to you. Or maybe let's say, so many different examples. You're an intelligent being, chosen one. You get what I'm saying. And even though we know these things and we've experienced a level of this already so many times in our lives, we may be pushing 40 and have been going through this our entire lives, traumatized from the birth with these things. But I'm not going to, and I'll be honest with you, I've had this experience recently with multiple people. That's why, I really know that we are called to be alone. This is a solo journey. We have to walk this path alone in the 3D. Yes, we have an army of spiritual beings with us. But I have tried so many times to include people I love, people who I call my friends. I don't have a lot of friends. And now I really just, I just know I just don't have any friends. The people who I've called my friends, and like you, what happens to them? They become jealous and envious. And you like, whoa, like, I haven't even achieved anything yet. How are you jealous already? I haven't done anything. How are you jealous? And you've done so much. I've had people who I find to be so cool, so talented, and they become literally this emotion of jealous. They become jealous, envious, and I haven't done anything. But I tell you that it actually really hits home. It hits home. Right now it's really hitting home for me in a different way, because I've been alone. I've been alone for so long. I mean, years upon years upon years. And as a child, I was ostracized, very isolated from others. It started with my family. My family would, they would target me because, I was a smart kid. And they would try to make me seem like I was doing something wrong by, speaking correctly. I used to have this thing with grammar. I'm much better with it now. But I would just tell them, like, I would just, oh, that's not how you're supposed to say that. Or the word is, or, things like that. And of course that is a little annoying, right? But, as a kid, I'm learning language, so I'm just talking it out. And I was in school, or even down to one time I had an abusive parent pick on me because I ironed something well. I ironed a shirt. And they're like, you think you something because you can iron real good. I said, what? I just iron my clothes to go to school. Like, what are you talking about? Why are you being angry with me? Because I ironed my shirt. And I didn't even know it was that good. But, things like that. People have always come against us. And I've had friends who, I've had multiple friends who I love. And the fact that just how ghost they went on me, I ain't gonna lie, that shit hit my heart, you know what I'm saying? That fact, someone who for years I only supported. And I'm so excited, like, if anybody knows me, knows that, I'm not much of a people person. Like many of us, we're not people persons. But with those who we support, like we are their supporters, right? You know what I'm saying? I want to see people do well. I love to see people doing well. I love it. And it makes me excited and happy. I'm like, okay, let's make you even more successful. Let's make you even more powerful, my friend. I'm so happy for you. And the fact that nobody has done that for us in return, that shit hurts. Excuse my English, because YouTube and stuff, but you know what I'm saying? And like, even though we know to expect this from people, with 144 on the clock again, even though we know to expect this of people, we still have those times. Like I personally am going through, so I feel like a lot of us may be going through this. Is why I'm making this video about it. We have experienced yet again with someone who we supported, we love, we celebrate, somebody who we celebrated time and time again, hours upon hours upon hours, days upon days upon days, years upon years, have gone ghost on us yet again. When we are left alone yet again, because somebody saw our light, we told somebody that we have this dream, we have these goals, and we're going to go after them. And they turn against us. Someone who you may have never thought would turn against you for any reason, let alone turn against you because you're going after your dreams. Next card out is, not only are you a miracle, but one is on its way to you. So I feel like this is God saying, yes, my child, yes, my creation. This is how I have called for it to be. I have told you that this journey would be a lonely one. I have told you that you will have to walk alone. And to know that God will provide. There will always be the ram in the bush. I'm always getting a little emotional. I ain't gonna lie, G getting a little emotional on it. Because I feel like, with me, I'm pushing 40. It's been a very long life of people turning against me when I have only celebrated them. I'm pushing 40, but almost like a child, I will celebrate people inside my heart. I'll be so happy for people. We, as a collective, we be so happy for people. And for them to turn against us because they're jealous over something we haven't even done yet. And for many of us chosen ones, we really do not have this feeling of jealousy. I do not, and I'm an interesting human. There are some human emotions, like social things, that don't come easy for me. So, and one of them is jealousy. I don't understand it, beyond like a psychic understanding of it. I know what it feels like psychically. I know what the vibration of jealousy is. I know it when I feel it psychically, but I don't really understand the experience of it and why humans become jealous so easily. I've had people cheat on me, tossing up the goodies supposed to be mine all across town. And then I find out about it, and I think I still, as traumatized and heartbroken as I was, I don't think I was as jealous as some people be, just because they see you walk into the gas station. They'd be so beside themselves, so perturbed. Or these people who they see, I don't know, get it, Yeah, many of us were quite handsome, beautiful, attractive people, quite intelligent, all, the list goes on and on. because there's so many different talents and blessings that we have as chosen ones. But it's just a matter of, like I said, I personally and many of us will relate to not understanding the emotion of jealousy, envy. You know, there have been times when I've had to walk in my life. Not, most of my life I've always been driving, most all of my life, since I was 16. But, there have been times when I've had to walk, and because, our journeys as chosen ones are not easy ones, right? And I still was not ever jealous of anyone who was driving. People would drive by me. Never was I ever jealous or envious of them. I was happy. I would still see people with cars and be like, hey, that's a really nice car. Or I'd be like, oh, she looks really good in that. Things like that. So I'm just, talking. So the point of the video, others will not support us in return. And I say this message to encourage us to keep on keeping on. And I must admit, I'm going to take these two cars fell on the floor. I'll get those in a moment. I must admit that it's hitting a little different for me right now. I don't know quite exactly why. But it is just that yet again, I open my heart to very few people. Not just my heart, my anything. I don't look people's way. I don't turn my head for many people whatsoever. And so yet again, to have someone who I celebrated over and over and over and over, so genuinely, go ghost on me. I told this person, I'm gonna make these steps for my dream. I'm not gonna tell anybody. I'm just gonna tell you, because it makes sense why I was gonna tell this person these things, because they kind of do similar things. And I said, and I told them that I don't want anybody else to know, because I didn't want their energy to get on it and fuck it up. You know what I'm saying? So I wasn't gonna tell anybody, and I don't really have anybody to tell anyways. I'm sure I got a lot of people around, but whatever. It's just and this person, ghost, or not a word, just went completely quiet. Then start talking about like a game or something, a game that they were playing. I was like, wow, I just told you I'm gonna take this huge step towards my dream, and you literally have not a word to really say about it. And I've talked shop with you for hours, days, years, and you really have nothing to say. We're gonna get through this. Don't stop. This shit hurt though, right? It's just like, how do we keep going? And it's always so many trials and tribulations. It seems like there's always resistance, and that people don't support us. People compete with us. People always try to humble us, try to knock us down levels, always trying to humiliate us, always trying to make us feel like we left out, we're not welcome. Because they feel like, we're too powerful, we'll get too powerful, we become more powerful than them, or we're more handsome than them, or people are going to like us more than them, or we'll end up having more money than them, or, somebody realized that, something, that they just don't want, And it's weird, man. But we're going to get through it. Remain calm at this time. Remain calm. I don't know exactly what we're going to do to get through this. It's something that God is going to do for us. And so I just encourage you to keep on keeping on. And the final card is, you were born to be a legend. I really need to wipe these cards off. I'm sorry. I've had this deck for a long time. You were born to be a legend. And that's why we go through these things. And that's why, God has told us for many years now that this would be a very solo, lonely path. And we've experienced this to be the truth, right? So I don't know. So the reason I really want to make this video is because even though I know this very well, and I teach this quite often, in recent times, in experiencing this yet again, it's being felt differently. So that tells me that the collective, we may be feeling this differently together for whatever reason. So I send this message to encourage you, my friend, to say that I know that people don't support you. I know that the people you love don't give that love back to you in the way that you give it. And we can't expect ourselves from other people. We got supernatural love. Remember that. We can expect others to have supernatural powers, supernatural abilities, just because we do. And we give them those abilities to them, or we share those abilities with them. That we gift them with the experience of our abilities. Let's see here. Wake up. And we got 3 cards. Wake up, work with crystals, and angels are protecting you. So let's wake up to our truth. Know that angels are all around us. Let's work with our crystals, get our crystal game up. Hey, it's been a while and do the same. Remember crystals in the full moon? Let's put those crystals out. Let's cleanse our crystals. Let's charge our crystals. Pray and meditate with our crystals. And maybe, when's the last time you went and checked out some more crystals at the crystal shop? You know, maybe check it out. Order some online. You know, I know that I love crystals, and this time in my life I was really fascinated. But I really wanted to just send this message of encouragement to know that I know that people ain't rocking with you like the way that you rock with them. That's a part of our destiny. Don't let it discourage you. Like for me, I'm going to keep on going with my projects and my goals and dreams with 2222 on the clock. I'm going to keep going. And it's like, it sucks that I have nobody who I can say, hey, look, this is what I'm doing. And just kind of have that accountability and somebody to help motivate me, especially when they do similar things, and I've always celebrated them. It is amazing how many people who will leave us and not support us, and we've only been by their side, celebrated them, supported them. And then in a vulnerable time of when we can put ourselves out there, you know, it's a vulnerable, it's kind of scary, kind of uncomfortable time in our lives. And this person who we've always supported and always been there for goes ghost. So not only are you uncomfortable in embarking upon your dreams, you have that added uncomfortability of knowing that this person who you would never expect to desert you left you hanging like so many other people since the time you were born into this world. Peace, light, and love.